Does anyone here have a job where they are paid to do mostly nothing? Saw this question on Quora and want to post this here. I currently work as a security guard and I feel like I only work for 30 minutes a day in an 8-hour shift. I work at a utilities site where my duties are to patrol the area, which takes me 10 minutes to do. I also let trucks in at the main gate and I receive 3 to 5 trucks a week where I have to open the gate for them. The rest of the time I'm sitting in my shack with nothing to do. I play on my phone. Brought my Steam Deck, Switch Lite, and 3DS to pass the time. Anyone else have a really chill job? I spend most of my time sitting in a little room inside a factory, waiting for something to break. Most repairs take me 5 minutes. Water supply. I work 40 minutes in an 8-hour shift. Otherwise I'm monitoring computer screens and security cameras. I work in a data center as a facilities technician. There are exceptions, but most of the time, I work maybe 90 minutes of a 10-hour shift, but the pay is decent and the benefits are good. I also worked security once upon a time and we were clearly only there for insurance purposes. I had to wear a stupid thick polyester uniform and walk the property every 30 minutes. Took 5. And walking by all those people doing real work while I wore my stupid little badge made me feel embarrassed I wasn't doing something useful with my time. I played my Switch and binged Netflix. The biggest downside is the shifts were 12 hours and I eventually couldn't hang. I quit due to burnout pretty fast. I've worked industrial construction and been on shutdowns where we don't even get to work. I spent the first 3 weeks of a job working 6 by 10-hour shifts and we couldn't even enter the plant. Just sit in the lunchrooms and play cards, read, etc. This was before smartphones. The only rule was no sleeping. And it sucked. I was on a new construction job where on alternating weekends, for double time, my role was to blow a whistle every time a crane had a load in the air. Other than that, sit in a shack. I'd get a call on the radio, go outside and blow on a whistle for 23 minutes, then go back in. 12-hour days. As they say in industrial construction, the only thing that happens in an hour is a 15-minute coffee break. And it's not lollygagging. You walk over half a mile back to the lunch trailers, take off your coveralls, wash up, have a 15-minute break, put your coveralls back on, then walk back to wherever in the plant you're working. An hour and a half later, you repeat the process for your 30-minute lunch break. I work night shift as a semi-truck driver hauling sand 8 miles from the processing plant to a rail yard. Not a day goes by that they don't grind to a halt because the plant broke down. Or the Wilson conveyor buggy that takes sand from the belly dumps into the tops of railcars breaks. When everything actually starts running smoothly, they decide to call for a rail switch to swap loaded cars with empties, which can take 46 hours or more. 80% of the time I'm just sitting in a parked truck, browsing the net on my phone, watching movies, or napping. Union work. So they keep us there instead of sending us home. And every shift I work is 10 hours of 1x pay and 2 hours of 1.5x pay. So I'm never worried about having to work enough or extra shifts to get OT pay on a check. 4 days 1 week, 3 days the next. So every week is a 3-day or 4-day long weekend. I'm putting the full-size mattress back in the back seat of my personal megacab truck from my hot-shotting days, just so I can stretch out and enjoy my naps better. I still complain about it every day, but I love it. Night audit at a mid-sized hotel. I do maybe 3 hours of work most nights in an 8-hour shift. Low stress. Okay, pay for my area. Minimal standing up. It's the easiest job I've had and really nice after coming out of a sales job. Literally doing the job right now. I'm a paramedic in a city jail. I work maybe an hour of my 14-hour shift. Make more than I did on the ambulance. I did once. It was a retail, factory job. Just above min wage. Small store and hardly any retail sales. When there was a customer, you stand at the register and answer questions. The rest of the time was packaging product. Then, the kitchen for the factory moved locations. But the new shop wasn't ready yet, since the factory had moved and they had also moved all the equipment. I spent a good few months being paid to sit an 8-hour shift with only 2 or 3. Sometimes no customers a day. Instead, I spent the time working on my resume and actively applying for new jobs. Used to be upper management and the stress was terrible. Found a new job owned by a European company as a forklift driver. Everything is mostly automated. I take a couple pallets to the back per hour. Mostly playing on my phone the whole shift. I had to buy a battery bank due to how much time I'm on my phone. They pay $28 per hour. 6 weeks vacation and 1 week sick leave. It's a massive warehouse, but since it's mostly automated, there's only 4 people working overnight. And 6 people on day shift. My first day the supervisor told me, "We have good machines. We work them hard, but people should take it easy. I'm never going back to traditional work your ass off manufacturing." Even if you are not doing anything, you still are trapped at a place away from home. I have had times like that working for the New York City Department of Education. Especially towards the end of the day. This is for the substitute workers, who are exempt from some of the duties of the permanent staff, but still can't punch out until 2:50 p.m. Subteachers, or 3:20 p.m. F-status social workers, after 1 p.m. at certain schools on certain assignments. There's nothing much to do if you can get away with it. I still see it as a sophisticated form of torture because sleep deprivation is essentially going on. No students to see, no paperwork, online forms to complete. So it's actually best to drag your feet and just keep chugging along until it's time to punch out. You want to sleep, but you obviously can't. I hate working. Even the parts where we supposedly get paid to do nothing. For many days yes, but not all of the time. I am a PE, so I need to sign designs from engineers who are not PE, so there can be week that I don't need to do anything. For the past year, I've been a quality assurance inspector. I check parts once every hour or so, and walk around looking for things that look inappropriate to send out to the end customer. Reject if necessary, then rinse and repeat. I work at a restaurant and surprisingly I end up standing around a lot. It's not that we're dead, I just wash dishes, which is obviously incredibly easy. One of those rare jobs where my role is just dishwasher and not dishwasher plus cook plus maintenance, etc. Don't make any money, but it beats my last job. That place was gonna kill me. Worked the night shift as a security guard at a small warehouse for a few years, 7 p.m. 7 a.m. All the workers would be gone by 9:30 p.m. and they would start rolling in again at about 5:30 a.m. Zero chance of anything happening as the building next door was Ministry of Defense, complete with armed guards. I played so much WoW. You're not doing nothing and your time is being used. You are being paid for your time. If you play your cards right, that is every job. Overnight janitor for some office building. I managed to have my checklist done within 3 hours, and the rest of the time I'm waiting to clock out. Every 3-ish weeks I do need to buff the floors, but that only takes 45 minutes. I'm a senior civil servant. I do maybe 10 hours a week of work. That's a busy week. Not in the US, where all the civil servants are like, how can we criminalize people who need help from the state? There are a few years of grindstone leading up to that level where you have to actually be really good, but once you hit a level, your work is a few meetings a week and delegating what you have to do. My job feels like that most of the time. I read a lot on the internet. No complaints.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.